Okay, so welcome to another video in After Effects. This is what our end goal is going to be. It's just a very simple text with the lens flare, which we already know how to do, and we're going to add some little bit more animation to the text. So that's our end goal. So let's go ahead and begin. Just let me exit out. And so we're going to go to After Effects, and then we're going to go click on New, and then it's going to say New Composition. We double click. Then we can just name it Text Animation. And then we can, what we're going to do now, we're going to do 5 seconds. We do not need to do 10 seconds. So I'm going to change the duration to 5 seconds because that's all we're going to need. And then we press OK. Okay, so then that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to go and we're going to add our text. So right now I'm just going to add ComArts. And then I want to align it. So I'm going to go to horizontal and then vertical, and that way it's centered. Now I'm going to make sure my anchor, I'm going to move this in the middle. So that way if I ever need to make it bigger, I can make it bigger if I want to, but that's fine right there. Okay, so now this is the animation that we're going to add. We're going to open this up at the drop menu, and then we're going to add, and right here, and we're going to add scale. Then we have the properties down here, and then we're going to add right here in the animator 1, and we're going to add opacity. And then we're going to add a blur. So here's the blur, and this is what we're going to do. Now we're going to open up. This is what we're going to do. We're going to scale our word, ComArts, and we're going to scale it to about 300. And it's going to make it huge. So that's what we want for right now. We're going to take our opacity and we're going to take it to 0. And then we're going to take our blur and we're going to do 100. That's what we want right now. And so then now we can't see it. And even if we move it, we can't see it. But if we go to our range selector, we have an offset. And right now we have it. If we go to 100, then it comes in. And then if we keep on going to minus, this is what we want, okay? So we're at 100. So we're going to do a couple more things before we move on, before we add our keyframe. Then we're going to go to more options. And we're going to change our character. We're going to go from character, and we want to do it line. That way it's going to spread out our text. So let's see. See how it's spread it out a little bit more instead of just having a group. And then not only that, but we want to ramp it down, because if you see, it's coming up, and we want to be more a little bit down. And so this is where we're going to go. Oh, I'm sorry, it's an advance. So we're going to go to, sorry, we're going to go to square, and we're going to go to ramp down. And if you see that, then go to the offset, and it's just a little bit more wrapping down. Then also, okay, so that's what we have so far. So we did everything wrapping down. It just makes it more aligned. And then we're going to hit our keyframe. So we're going to go where the offset is. And this is the offset, and we're going to go to 100. So we can just click, go to 100. And then there, that's what we want. And we're going to hit our stopwatch, our keyframe. And then we're going to move it over, let's say, roughly I have it about 3 seconds. And then we're going to go to negative 100. And so if we were to play it back, we press, and it's coming in. Okay, and then now what we want to do is we want to kind of ease it in. So we can go ease in, and we can just stop it, and we can go about, let's say about 50. And then it's going to ease it in. Starts fast and then kind of ease it in. We can also move it up to 100. Okay, so that's what we have. So that's all we're going to do for our text. Now, if we want to change the color, we know how to change the color. We can just simply click on our text, and then open up our properties here in character, and then we can change it. We can change the style, the regular, whatever we need to do. This is all right here. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a couple more solids. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. Then I'm gonna just move my RTI over, and then I'm gonna go to layer, and we're gonna add a new solid. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create more like a vignette. Okay, so I'm gonna change this color, and I want it roughly around a bluish gray, around there, whatever you like. This is just what I want, and I press OK, and then I'm going to move it under our text. Okay, after that, and then if we move this over, then we can see Com Arts. Okay, that's what we want. Now I'm going to add another layer, and we're going to add another solid, and this one's going to be black. So I'm just click black, press OK. Oh. And there we have it. Now, if you come up here to your tools, you'll see this right here. You'll see the rectangle tool and all these tools right here. And I'm going to click on the ellipse tool, and I'm going to double click. And when I double click, it creates a mask. And this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to open up the properties of mask 1. And then I'm going to do the feather, and I'm going to take the feather, and I want it roughly around there or so, okay? Then it's kind of like, oh, we have it now. Up here and add, I'm going to take it and I'm going to just do subtract. And this is kind of what we want. Okay, so that's what we have for our mask vignette. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the lens flare. So now, how do we add the lens flare? We go to layer, we go to new, we go to solid, then we press OK. Then we go to effect and we generate. Then we add our lens flare. And then we can change our type of lens flare. I like the 105mm prime. And I'm just going to click here. And then I'm going to, then we need to, of course, we need to go to layer. Then we go to our blending mode and we do add. And this is it. And so then now, of course, I want to animate our lens flare. And so I'm just going to click here on the effects. I'm going to set my stopwatch. And I'm going to move it here where I want it to come out. And then here we go. I press the spacebar, and this is what we should have. And this is it. This is what we're doing today. Something simple, but as we get longer, we get on with the course, a couple more projects. It's going to get a little bit more complicated, but this is something very simple that we can do. Now, what we're going to do is, okay, so now this is how we're going to export it. Because right now we've been doing screenshots of it, but now I want you to export it. Okay, so this is how we're going to export. We're going to go to composition, and we're going to add to render queue. And then we have our settings here. And this says text animation 1. I have everything the way I want it. And I'm going to hit render. And it's going to hit render. And it's done now. Then I'm going to go to Adobe Premiere and open up Adobe Premiere. Now, I've already done it, but this is what we would do. We would just simply get a new project. We can call it new project, and we can just call it text animation, and we double click here, and this is what I want. Import, and if you notice it's here, I'm just going to simply drag it onto my timeline. Then I'm going to simply export it. We're going to go to export media, and it's already named, but if you haven't named it, we can double click here, name it. And we went in our desktop, we press save, and then we export. And then let me minimize this. And then it should be somewhere around here. Here it is. And that's exactly, and then you'll submit this into Schoology, okay? If you have any questions or concerns, I will gladly go around the room and just make sure you're doing okay.